Hello everyone, this is Dr. Abhinav, and in this video today we'll see about the questions expected in UPSC CMS 2021 personal interview. So in this video I'll specially talk about the questions which you can expect from the main member of the panel. So that is from the IAS person. So he'll be the one who is going to grade you. So make sure you give the best answers to him. So this questions that he's going to ask will be more of like kind of knowledge and some general knowledge, the aptitude and the attitude with which you answer, and your communication skills can also be tested. So I know everyone is at this time it is the best thing is to do is to for prepare for the NEET PG, but whenever you get some time free time, so try to see these questions and try to solve these questions. And this questions from the IAS is usually like more of kind of common sense questions, so you can share your answers in our comment section also. So I have given 15 questions in this, so we'll be discussing those 15 questions. And if you have some contributions, we have some answers, so you can also put it down in the comment section. So these are just a few expected questions from my side. So I don't want you to be not prepared for the general knowledge questions and the aptitude questions. So this is kind of practice for you. So let's see how it goes. So before we start our video, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. So the first question will be like, what is your name and what does it mean? So you'll have to tell your name, and you'll have your name might have some meaning, so know that meaning and try to talk something about it. Okay, so the next question will be like, if you get both NEET PG and UPSC seat at the same time, and if you could choose only one, then which one will it be and why? So at this time it is not needed that you talk very good about UPSC and bad about NEET PG. It's not like that. They want you to be honest with your answers. So whatever you feel, you just tell it to them. If you feel like NEET PG is better, you just tell them. And the reason why you are attending this UPSC interview, you tell whatever you want. So people at the panel like you to be honest. Okay, so you'll have to tell which one would you choose and the reason for choosing the one and not choosing the other one. What contributions can you make to the society as a doctor? So this question is, you must have heard it a lot of times. So but I know everyone would say like serving the society, serving the poor. That is really true and that is really good. But if you could say something more other than these things, so if you could say something that can impress the examiner, so it will be a better answer. Because if they ask this question to 10 people, out of 10 people, 9 to 10 will be saying the same answer, that is to serve people. So you can also uh, tell about your own thoughts, and it should be really good answer. Okay, so tell me about a memorable case that you have managed in your internship. So this is a bit of a tricky question. So they are asking this question, and if you say like a very serious case, and then what will happen is that they start keep on asking about that case. How did you manage? So you make sure when you answer these types of questions, the case that you are going to tell to them, you should know everything about that case. So it is, if you ask me, it is better to be on the safer side and tell like something which you know completely. For example, like managing a diabetic ketoacidosis and managing a tuberculosis patient and those kind of things. So mainly they will ask about the emergency cases. For example, like this trauma patient, what will you do initially? You are suspecting the patient to have tension pneumothorax. So what will you do? Will you take X-ray or not? What will be your first step in management? Those kind of questions. So instead of that, if you say that you did brain tumor surgery, you assisted a brain tumor surgery, which is a very complicated case and those kind of things, then they will start keep asking questions about that case, and make sure that you should be able to answer whatever they ask about that case. So the next question is, you see a person collapsing at the airport, you did the emergency treatment, but you refuse to accompany the person in the ambulance as you may miss your flight. So is it ethical? So if this question comes for, if you ask me, this is not ethical, because the doctor should accompany the patient until he reaches an hospital. So what that is usually which is ethical thing to do, but if you have any alternate answers also, you could drop it in the comment section. We'll talk about it. You get a patient who was found lying unconscious under a coconut tree. Will you do MLC or not? So this question is kind of very good question, which was asked to me in my interview also. So a person lying under a coconut tree, so the chances are like the person could have had a injury from the coconut being dropped from a very good height, or someone might have done something to that person and put him under the coconut tree. So if you ask me, it is always the best thing to do is to do a MLC because the patient was found lying unconscious. How will you make a patient understand that every cough and cold doesn't need antibiotics? So this is a very very good question also. So these questions, they are trying to test your communication skills. So how are you going to explain to a patient like he should not take antibiotic on his own? He should not take antibiotics whenever he's having a simple cough and cold. How are you going to explain him about the viruses and bacteria and those kind of things in a very easy understandable manner for the patient? Okay, so this requires some communication skills, so be prepared for questions like this also. What better could have been done by the Indian government in managing the COVID crisis? So whenever they ask something about the government kind of questions, so first make sure that you, for the first 1 minute or 2 minutes, you talk well about the government. It's like the government has already done these plans which are really good, and this is the outcome of those plans. These are really helpful for the people and those kind of things. So after doing those kind of things, what you will have done extra or in excess to these plans. So what better could have done? So you can say that people could have we could have made the lockdowns even stricter. So mainly people came out from their homes during the lockdown to earn some money to get some food. So if the government had provided food for all the homes, and they wouldn't have come out. So those kind of things which comes to your mind. Diabetes is a very prevalent disease in India. So apart from counseling about diet, what can you do to reduce the incidence? So whenever diabetes is mainly because of the bad lifestyle, so probably that's a lifestyle disease. And for the lifestyle disease, mostly will what will do to avoid is about what we'll do to avoid is by talking to the patient about the disease and its complications. So here they have mentioned you can't talk about diet, or you have already talked about diet. So what else can you do to reduce the incidence? So you can comment your answers in the comment section. Talk to me about your hobbies. So whenever they ask about hobbies, uh, it's good to say that I like to do teaching to the students. I like to counsel students and those kind of things. It's like really impressive. Those kind of things you can talk about some diseases prevalent at your place. So you can tell that malaria is very prevalent at my place, and then they'll start asking about those questions like what is the annual malarial parasite index at your place, and what does it signify? So how's the is malaria endemic or epidemic to your place or at any other place in India? So how can you prevent it? Those kind of things. So, how different is the healthcare system at your place compared to Delhi? So, usually they don't compare it to Delhi. They can compare it to any other place. Like you might have been to any other place. So they'll ask like, have you been to any other place apart from your place? So they can ask to you about the comparison of healthcare systems at your place and at their place. So generally, if they ask these kind of questions, what you will do is that first you will talk about the healthcare system at your place. Then you will have to talk about the healthcare system of Delhi, and then you should compare together, and you should talk about the outcomes of your place and outcomes at Delhi. And you can also suggest some plans which can be implemented at your place or at Delhi. Now, if you are a foreign medical graduate, they can ask the question like healthcare system at India versus healthcare system at your country, at the country where you study. For example, like Philippines, Russia, China. Okay, they can compare the healthcare system. What lessons did you learn from COVID? So this is a very good question again. So you can tell about the medical kind of lessons and other life lessons and all those things you can mix up and give a good answer. This is kind of a controversial question. Mostly these type of questions wouldn't be asked at the interview, but in case if they ask, you should be prepared for it. So right now, currently there's a case being going on regarding Neet Pg and those kind of things. So they can probably ask some kind of questions related to it. For example, like after MBBS, people can start earning better. So do they still need a reservation system for PG as well? So what they are trying to ask here is that during after your schooling, okay, you're not earning, so the reservation system helped you. But even after becoming an MBBS doctor and after starting to earn, do everyone still need a reservation system for PG as well? So there is these kind of questions can be asked. Again, this is a controversy, and this answers debate can go very long. These kind of questions are generally not asked, but regarding the current situation, this can be asked. So be prepared for anything and everything. Your favorite specialty and why? Now, this is a very very important question, and with this only you are going to decide how your interview is going to revolve around. So you can tell your, for example, if you tell your favorite specialty is cardiology, and then immediately the internist starts asking you about tell me about the pulse noted at mitral stenosis, tell me about the character of murmur heard in aortic stenosis. So how is hypertrophic obstructive cardiomyopathy presents? So which is systolic murmur, which is diastolic murmur, those kind of things. And then the obstetrician can ask about the postpartum cardiomyopathy, those kind of things. Many questions will be asked from the specialty which you are going to choose. So you are going to roll the interview. Okay, you are going to decide which question can be asked to you. So if you tell like you are going to be a neurosurgeon, then those kind of questions you can expect from them. So be truthfully, tell whatever you want, but at the same time, make sure that you know about that specialty very well. Okay, so these are few questions which are expected to be asked at this year. So all these questions I have referred to the previous year students. So all from this 15 question, this includes questions, some of the questions that were asked to me and some of other people who attended last year interview. So these kind of questions can be asked again in 2021 exam also. So if you think that answering these questions is easy, then you have a good aptitude and good knowledge. So what you can do is that you can just practicing these kind of questions to start with. Because whenever you go into an interview, the first person asking question to you is the IAS person. And then the first impression is the best impression. So the first few questions, you should be answering very boldly and very clearly. So you should not be like scratching your head and trying to think that time. So what you'll have to do is you'll have to answer boldly, and you should also be prepared for any type of questions. So while answering the questions, make sure that your aptitude and your attitude is very good. Okay. So these were some of the questions which are expected. So you can also comment down your answers for these 15 questions with the numbers nearby. And in the next few videos, I will also talk about the medicine, surgery, obstetrics, gynecology, PSM questions expected for this personal interview. So that's all for today. So don't forget to subscribe to our channel. So thank you.